give you a little quick, very quick little history lesson. That prior to the existence of chords for many thousands of years, there was no such thing as a chord. The concept of chords didn't exist in anybody's brain. They were just melodies. And over time, melodies were played against other melodies. A composer would write a melody and think, oh, that's a nice melody. I'll try another melody and write another one and hope to make them sort of work together. Okay, that was the start of polyphonic music. Polyphonic just means more than one melody at the same time. Okay? What we normally do today is homophonic music, meaning chord or chords plus melody on top. Okay? Well, polyphonic music eventually developed further and further and further throughout the Renaissance and in the Baroque era. And music theorists came by afterwards, after Bach and Handel and Purcell, all those guys were already dead, and tried to create a system to explain why those melodies worked together. Why, when you had four melodies independent and you stacked them on top of each other, why each one of those individual sounds, as you stack them together, why that sounds good. And that was the start of formal music theory. That's when it began. Okay? So anyway, I mean, music theory as we know, and the concept of chord began with music theorists. Bach didn't think to himself, this is a one chord, this is a five chord. I mean, he knew all that stuff intuitively, that when he combines notes and his melodies together, that it would result in that type of sound, it would function in this type of way. But he never used the terms five chord or G7. Those terms didn't even exist. Okay? So, anyway, we can go on and on about that, but I won't bore us all with that. Okay, so the point is that voice leading, in the beginning, they were just thinking about melodies, and it was very important how each note moved to each other note. Today, most of the time, pop musicians, rock musicians don't think that way. They think, I've got this big entity called the G chord, and I got this other entity called a D chord. And I'm not going to pay attention whatsoever to how any of those notes moved from where they were in the first chord to where they moved in the second chord. Okay, and a lot of cool music was made this way, but you can do a lot more when paying attention to how each individual note moves from one chord to the next to the next. It makes everything sound smoother. Okay, so here's an example of that. Let's say we take G. I'll make it more simple. Let's say we take A minor and E. How many ways can you play A minor and E and have it still hold your interest? I mean, there are other ways. Okay, but there's still basically, we're still thinking about those as blocks. This is a block of information. That's a block of information. Okay. Well, let me show you how you would approach this, thinking more about individual voices and how they move. Okay, and I'm only playing two chords the entire time, but it probably held your interest a little longer than this did. Are you bored yet? Are you bored yet? Okay. It may take a little longer before you get bored of this. A lot of mileage on that. I'm just playing the three notes that are in A minor, the three notes that are in E major.